the recording. Oh, guys. Yeah, guys. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, it's working. Okay. I'm gonna cover the TPOs real quick first. Let me just close all my tabs. Oh hell no. Okay, basically, with the TPOs, the main thing for me was just looking at the range value, right? So you've got the 5-week range here. You got this big, huge dump one that we had that kind of like put in that swing low here, right? I think with this, it ended up rejecting the quarterly and whatnot, but the quarterly also lined up with these high volume nodes on that dump day profile, right? I think X has kind of been bugging lately as well. But yeah, it ended up tagging the high volume nodes there. Obviously, ended up rejecting. I mean, this is pretty clean. I didn't get to trade any of this, but I saw that you shorted it though, Waffles, which is a fantastic entry here. Was it at 75k?
Yep, pretty much top.
Yeah. And then this ends up dumping, right? And then basically right now you're within that 5-week value, right? And something to note here is the double distribution on that previous weekly, right? So the main thing I'm kind of looking out for here is for the high volume node area here at previous weekly val to kind of either hold support for like, a move up like that and then maybe a retest and then continuation, right? And from there, it should end up tagging the 73k, 74k area, maybe a lower high. But then if you get like time and space above like, this previous range area here, then like I guess like you can set up a backup for 80k, but I'm still skeptical of like, higher personally. But then I'm kind of guessing like, if we either SFP here or we SFP here, then we get continuation of like, the last few days of dumping down towards 65, which is where this is range val. Again, you've got a pretty nice volume node there as well. This is where I'd ideally want to swing longs for higher, but at the minute it's like I'm still kind of anticipating a few more days of chop between these two levels before we get any sort of breakout. I think with the daily profiles are a little bit cleaner, I'd say. Actually, no, it's a little bit less clean, but basically you've got like 3 days of overlapping value here, right? And I think like right now we kind of just bulldoze straight through it. This is kind of like the SFP idea as well, because again, like you see, we get a nice stab there. I think with the order flow, you can kind of see like, we did trap a lot of buyers there and they did get immediately flushed, etc, etc, right? That low, in my opinion, isn't too good though. That's the one thing to note. The key thing here for me is that if we end up flipping like locally this 3-day value area high here, then I guess this should precipitate a move higher, right? So if we end up sweeping this high here and get any sort of retest or any sort of like hold in this level here, this is ideally where I'd want to find longs, right? And I think locally you've got like previous weekly val around 69.5, I think it was. So again, like any sort of like flush into that single print here, if we get a nice move, should go higher. But if for whatever reason this level ends up holding here, right, like the 70, 71 area holds, then we should just retrace the whole move and then get that 65 area that I was talking about. But yeah, I mean the TPOs are kind of clean at the minute. Like it doesn't really get cleaner than that with like such clear PYs and whatnot. But yeah, I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys talk. What's your view on things? Waffles, Razvan. You can shoot if you want.
Well, Razvan, you want to go first or?
Nah, you can go.
Yeah. So to be honest, this is my first today I'm looking at the charts. We need to have a look at new weekly values, where they sit, and how price sits within the monthly value as well. I guess I should stream, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure you guys how you line up your sort of thoughts for the week. So, excuse me.
I just went straight to CPO because I think I shared my higher time frame already in the server. But yeah, you're right.
Razvan, why don't you go first? I can't find TradingView to share the screen.
I think you can go straight to the VWebs, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I can't find it. I can't stream. I don't know. I can't see the TradingView panel in Discord.
Mm.
I guess it just go entire screen, yeah. Okay.
So you wanna stream myself?
Wait. Shit. Yeah, I'll go entire screen.
Okay, it's working.
I'm professional, but it's gonna work, yeah?
Yeah, it's working.
You can see it, yep. But I can't read chat, so let me know if there's any questions.
Yeah, hold on.
Right, so starting the week off, we obviously saw some. I don't think it's manipulation by Trump, as Waffle mentioned. I sort of think Bitcoin priced in this dump while SPX was closed, and the relief was sort of rebalancing with SPX, just pumping on the bullish sort of news that came out by Trump, which I don't know, maybe it's manipulation, maybe it's not. But in general, structure hasn't really changed much, in my opinion. I've been watching the monthly values a bit more as they seem to be confining the whole range quite cleanly. So if we, I guess, draw a general price action range on Bitcoin, you can see that the low of the range is pretty much previous month's value area low here. And the high of the range is also previous month's value area high is also range high, just structurally. So that's why I've been a bit keener on keeping an eye out on the monthly levels, and I've been using it to try and get decent bias around where price can go. And right now, as I said, price action hasn't really changed much. This sort of goes for upside and downside, since we've been holding lows, constantly. And you could argue that this is bullish retest, but you could also argue that we're potentially going in for lower high, right? So if I wanted to go and look for shorts here, my first point of interest would be previous month's value area high, roughly around 73K. And that should align with clearing out this sort of poor highs here and also moving throughout previous week's value, which is up to 74K. So I guess you could see a deviation above 73 into 74 previous weekly value area high. So that would look like, I don't know, reclaim inside this, go above that, and drop. Again, we would clear out these highs and also sort of fill out this imbalance that we've left here, right? And I think that's a decent short trigger. It's really good because we have clear invalidation that if we climb and hold above previous month's value area high, so 73K, we're more likely to push above and try and break out above, the quarterly view up, which recently just rejected price. So your invalidation for shorts is reclaim of these two value area highs. And yeah, your short trigger is also at the same level. I've been using Housesuit recently just to gauge trend. And this would be, I guess, a bullish break, but it does give out late signals. So I'd be a bit more wary on that. However, I think there's not much reason to rush any, sort of bullish bias here. Even though Trump did drop some good news, I'm not sure if Bitcoin is going to want to continue breaking out of this range just so soon. So for now, I'll just watch for pure technical triggers and try and trade traversion from one extreme to the other. So in this case, as long as we sort of trade above, I guess, the weekly view up at, what is that, 69,500-ish. If we trade above that, we should go towards 72 500 to 74K. Those two would be my bullish targets for now. Let's see. You could also mark this out, I guess, as a possible range.
It also
yeah.
looks like developing the third, the right shoulder looks like a head and shoulder,
Yeah, it does. That's why it's 50-50 in my opinion. Sometimes patterns actually do play out like that, but I guess we'll find out. I think it's a really clean trade here. If we manage to get up to this level, it's either going to like swing failure, and then if it starts to show weakness, we can go in for a short and potentially target, I guess, monthly open, which is around here, and previous month's value area low. As you can see, the current drive up, we sort of held the monthly value area low as support. So if we're just looking at the monthly value by itself, this move should lead up to this level, since this is extreme to extreme, right? So yeah, watch for a trigger here. If there's no weakness, it probably just starts to hold higher lows, and then we end up longing, and it probably squeezes above this high. Then I target higher, but I guess that's way too early to speculate on that. Not much comment on the yearly or the quarterly. The most important level is just the VWAP, where we rejected. I don't think the value low is too big of a deal, as this static value here and just the general price action range low is a bit more significant. I wouldn't consider this, but it's there. It's in confluence.
It also looks like an half Batman pattern, but it's losing strength. I don't know. It usually plays way sooner, like on gold. If you see the gold, like was a textbook half Batman pattern on higher time frame. So,
yeah, it was.
I don't know. I consider like weakness on Bitcoin, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
Event 2 could be also a 22 summer pattern, when some sort of similar price action where we just take another high and then maybe we go lower. I don't know.
well, in my opinion, for positioning is like, I don't know, a lot of people strictly trade perps here, but I guess having some spot accumulated at this price is not a bad idea. I do hold spot from the initial dump, which is sort of covering my inefficiencies in trading. So I guess having spot here is a smart idea, because even if we drop down 10% from here, you're safe. 10% drawdown on spot holdings is not that bad. What I've found to work the best here is try and go week to week without too much bias, and trade level to level. Just be a bit more greedy on your take profits, and remember that we're in a pretty much certain range until proven otherwise. And for me to see like real bullish bias, it would be above the quarterly VWAP, because then there will be not much stopping price upwards towards, I guess 85 to 87K here, and some more higher time frame VWAPs here, as I've marked out. So anything above 75 is good towards 85. And until then, we should remain within this range.
Yeah.
That's sort of my take on the current levels. Also, this week opening up bullish. I don't know, may close bearish as well. So I guess weekly open is one to watch. I don't think the daily candle is going to close bullish, bearish, but we may see midweek deviation. I was sort of playing with the idea that we can use these two big pivots as sort of range that we can watch. But again, as you can see, this all aligns with previous ideas, so it's all pretty much the same. But I guess this would be the idea. And if anyone has bullish takes on this, it's pretty much that lows are holding for bulls as well. So we're going to see how it goes.
You don't intend on trading those inefficiencies at the 73K area, right? Like deviation of that previous weekly view app.
I'm not sure I understand.
So on that previous weekly view up that like 72K, right? You got inefficiencies above. I was kind of thinking like, a good trade for either side would be, obviously like we just deviate the VWAP and then dump, or we deviate the VWAP and then hold the low and then just keep pumping towards that 73.4 area.
I guess it is. It is. I mean, when you have like empty brackets like this, it's almost certain that you break up.
Yeah.
And sort of just traverse through them. But in the case that like we're weak, I don't think we get to 74. I just think we swing failure here and drop back down maybe.
Yeah.
But that would be a bit, just general weakness, and then we can target lower for shorts.
Yeah.
And I think that's that from me regarding mid time frames.
Yeah. I think something interesting is like how alts are looking at the minute. It's like Solana, for example. I think Solana's kind of speedrunning the whole Bitcoin thing as well. It can go back up to 93, 94. Wait, let me open the stream. I kind of just avoided buying spot Solana that POI. I'll show you what I mean. So like we had, I think it was kind of similar to Bitcoin. Like you've got a range here. Just draw the value kind of like that. Let's just say that's the value. Obviously, it ends up like coming back down to mean revert. Personally, like I don't know. I kind of just stepped away from spot bids mainly just because like how cheeks Bitcoin was looking, but that was like just a personal like that was just like a personal mistake on that. But it's kind of like with Bitcoin, for example, like really tapped into the quarterly VWAP. I'm kind of thinking with Solana is if I can grab any sort of spot on a sweep of these lows, or likely, let's say, for example, we take out these inefficiencies here, and then it takes out these lows there. Spot bids here would be great in Solana. Obviously, like, if there's any sort of strength here, then like, whatever, right, bid the strength, but I'll be looking for a sweep of these lows. For me, I still think Solana is going to end up going for that quarterly VWAP. It's just a matter of like, finding what to bid. I guess with this, sorry, it's my first time looking at Solana in a few days. That would me. Like for me, usually when I see these kind of like spikes into levels like that, right? Like with Waffles, what you said was that like when you have an upper bracket here that's empty, you should end up like retracing it fully, right? But obviously here it's a pretty good rejection. What I'm kind of seeing here is like if we start going range bound within that wick area here, then like then this is just going to go and fill the entire value, right? But the thing I'm kind of looking for here is like some sort of wick fill lower, and then if it ends up holding previous weekly val on the lower time frame, then this would be a really good continuation bid higher. And of course, at that point, like you just want to see how it reacts with inside this kind of like distribution area. If it ends up holding above that, then like quarterly value. But at the minute, for me, Solana, I still think we can get quarterly value at some point, as long as like overall structure holds. I think something else was Hyperliquid. So if I just Hyperliquid, I've already sold a decent chunk on this, but we've obviously retraced the entire previous quarterly value here already, right? And now it's going back into quarterly VWAP. I don't really want to touch hype until it comes back down into current quarterly value area high here. I think this is going to underperform for a while. With this, I'd want to see some sort of deviation there. And I think right now we're close to the quarterly close as well. So if we get like a deviation here, then that's pretty good bids. If it ends up like given deviation here and it comes back up and then ends up like rejecting. I think this is the first level to look at, to be honest, because it's quite a good it's quite a good wick there. I'd say, like, if we take these lows here and it doesn't make a higher high here, then obviously then we can talk about, like, a wider pullback. But then obviously, like, if it ends up holding here, then we can start talking about it going back up to the 43 high here again. But I think that's also something to note as well, that we do have quarterly close very soon. So obviously this is going to provide some good key levels over the next, like, couple weeks or so, where like, if we do continue to be range bound on Bitcoin at these levels here. Wait 1 second, that's the weekly. So yeah, there you go. Let me just delete everything here. It's like in a week or so, this is going to be a new previous quarterly value, right? And of course, you've got, like, the current monthly value and whatnot. So if we are continuing to be range around her, obviously this is going to be good deviation levels in future. So, like, that's also something else to note. I don't know. I'm still not too bullish on the case for 80k. Similar to, like, what Waffles said about, like, how we've not flipped quarterly view up here yet. So the whole argument here is still kind of like once we flip that, then, like, I'm obviously just going to be aping for a full, like, retrace of that value. I think the other thing as well is that you don't really have any structural levels here. You don't have that many structural levels within that upper bracket. It's just, like, low liquidity resistance runs higher and previous range retested and whatnot. So yeah, I think we said that we're going to do a Q&A as well. Guys, any questions? Just dump it into the voice chat, like the text channel.
Do you guys trade any commodities or stocks, or is it purely crypto?
It's like,
I'm asking you to Waffle.
personally, no. For me, I do some metals though. So silver, gold, but I don't really trade stocks. What about you?
I've been trading oil. I guess I just trade them during peak times.
Let me just have a look at that.
I did lately just some metals, like before the drop on silver. I mean, it was very clean, the price action on the metals before this drop.
I think I
Did
missed
you use
completely.
variational waffles?
Yeah, I do. I got a shield by someone that works there, I think. I haven't started to trade on it. I just opened an account, but it is on my list.
I've heard the
Yeah,
spreads on variational.
Nado is nice. It's nice to go also, like, side by side with Hyperliquid and Nado.
Is there a mobile
You can
app
trade
or
on the variational.
no, Nado?
No, I never
I've been
tried,
using it
to
on
be
my
honest.
desktop.
Yeah, just desktop myself also.
It's unfortunate because sometimes I go out and I can't. I mean, I won't be able to manage something, so can't open a position on that.
Yeah,
What are the spreads like? Because I heard the spreads on variational weren't too good.
it's nice.
Been okay so
To be honest,
far. I don't
any
trade with
usual.
insane size, so
Yeah, Mando. Dude, I've not looked at an old chart in a while. Not looked at an old chart in a while. It's a pretty clean range from like 84 to 120, which is kind of crazy.
Which coin?
No, Brent. Oil.
Oh, Brent. I think it's gonna stabilize. It's gonna get a bit boring maybe, and then yeah.
Yeah. With
I avoid
Ant,
trading too much.
I mean, yeah, same, yeah. It's like literally just if there's a narrative or like wider volatility. I think that the S&P one is kind of alarming though, with the pullback, since that's kind of like rounded off now. Let me just change my stream again. Because I was kind of thinking like you posted this as well. If we do get like a wider
Just
pullback,
watch the chat. Watch the chart on the chat on the silver. Like, bro, it's masterclass how clean was. It's crazy.
The thing with like commodities is like it
It was
takes
crazy clean.
longer to play out than crypto, so a lot of
Yeah,
people get
like I
sort of
mean,
like
it was a
sidetracked.
good. It was a good choice for some intra-week swing on it. Like I'm not trading intraday on them very rarely. Just if I see something that likes out, you know.
All right, Razvan, right now let's speculate that this is silver, right? It did a 3 drive and then oil puked. You think metals recover over the week?
Let me see a bit on oil.
just open the
They
stream
So
again.
you
are like
said,
inversely correlated, no?
so you say that if silver pumps from here, right?
I'm saying that potentially metals see some local bottom here and sort of
Yeah.
respect their range environment.
I think the metal's gonna choop a lot more since we've taken this the second basically the prior low after the climax. I think now it should die, like the fall should die, honestly. Can't see anything bigger than that drop taking place like in the near future, honestly. So probably we're gonna just stay choop all the year on metals, honestly. And maybe
Gold
we
just
resume.
hit the yearly open as well. So it's kind of pivotal in my opinion.
It's funny how the gold has dropped like way more than the silver. Like it was very aggressive the drop on gold compared to silver. Maybe because, but honestly, I don't think so that the previous damp, the first climax was bigger on silver than the gold, and now because of that, the silver do not damp as hard as the gold. So yeah,
But doesn't gold dump because they like sell for oil? So I'm not a macro expert or on
yeah,
like
also
economics things,
that.
but
Probably. Also, I'm not onto that. So
yeah.
so can't really respond regarding that. Yeah, the oil seems like it's holding the low like after the first climax. So probably more range also for the oil.
I'm not an econ expert, but I think one of the main drivers as well was the rate hike narrative, where like the Fed cut back on interest rate cuts, so US dollar should be going up for like the rest of the year unless something else happens. I think Dixie was looking really good on the daily. Time frame.
DXY on higher time frame, you mean?
Yeah, DXY.
I think DXY will maybe we start pumping a bit after this consolidation here that we form. Can see it going way lower than 98.
Yeah.
This base here. Also this void that we left, like the I don't know, 1, 2, no, was March 25 and April. So maybe we feel a bit of it, then we reconsider like later we pull back again into the 100 level, or we just proceed higher, and yeah, very strong dollar
Yeah,
if that
yeah.
happens. But I think we are heading to a pump maybe on dollar, and more selling of the risk assets, Also, the XPX is pretty much overextended, so I don't expect to have that secular bull market that everyone talks a bit about until maybe in the next, maybe with the start of the Shemitah year in 28. Maybe that year gonna be also the year of a new 21 altcoin season, So just a half season altcoin season, a half altcoin season until 28 maybe. So nothing really big, and of course, the selection is going to be very important also, like we've seen this previous bull market. So don't expect to pump everything like before and just vapor wave, with the losers to be again losers and the winners, of course, like hype, maybe zero. That looks also pretty decent for now, but we'll see.
You guys have seen the Tau hype, right?
To be honest, I don't have many filters like for really good investments on altcoin, besides, I don't know, hype, zero, and pretty much that's it. I don't know if I really
Because there is nothing
consider
good to
even
invest in.
holding Solana anymore. Probably they are good swings, but nothing really like 1-2 year hold.
I'm watching for Tau shorts.
Yep.
So if anyone's into shorting Tau, you guys can join me this week.
What's your level at? Because I'm looking for a deviation of that those highs at 320s.
If it gets there.
Yeah.
Big if, in my opinion, because weekly sort of opened like it looks like it wants to close bearish, so I don't know if it's gonna get there. But yeah, Tau is literally, it's a big scam.
I mean, bro, the monthly value looks absolutely terrible on Tau. Like, it's kind of just going sideways above it, but like, there's literally no structure below it, so it's gonna be like a pretty fast retrace.
Yeah, I gave my screen a bit. So you guys watching on Tau?
Yep.
Okay. This shit here. Okay. Let me pull off the aggregation because I hold just on Bitcoin. So let me see. Is this good? Yeah, it's okay on Binance. It's any other ticker like with more history?
There is tickers with more history, but it's all to the downside, so you don't really need them for now, I think.
Yeah.
There's
Because
like a massive leg from zero to...
I saw a chart like this on Tau, something like this, and now if I
Yeah.
if you go on the logarithmic chart, it looks dead, like on a big distribution to go way lower, and people think that if you don't watch this, it will go like it's a base and we pump, but just to go sell and more, and people just buying
I
and
think the MEXC one
getting
has
like
prior history, prior history, but against a MEXC chart though. That's the spot one, yeah.
Oh yeah. So if I go on logarithmic chart, yeah, it's pretty much this.
$60, $80.
So yeah, maybe people that don't see this chart expect this to pump like very hard, and I don't know, just go lower. So basically, what is your bias to, let's say, like this on Tau Waffles?
Right. So Tau right now, I think it's running a purely like narrative based pump. I think they had some podcast with with someone from Nvidia.
All right.
Yeah, so they were trying to proof of concept some model on like. Let me pull something up. I don't really remember it.
So it's
So yeah, they
it's a
wanted.
press. It's a
Yeah,
date or something for the event.
it was something along. I think it was called Covenant, some Covenant model that they were working on, and it was sort of like proof of concept that it can work, but it's not working yet. So the narrative is sort of like based off that it can happen, but it's not happening yet. And the current price for Tau is sort of like, I think it's already pricing in the narrative pump, and I don't think it can outhold it without any further proof.
Mm-hmm. So it's already priced in. You're saying?
I think it's near its fair value, maybe 300 something, but I think it's there.
It's also compressing here, so yeah. Here we just distributed and we went lower, and now
As high as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if it goes maybe 360, but it
what
takes a
if this
while
shit
for
goes?
the narratives.
What if this shit goes like the sea waves? Like one time, two time, and maybe in the third time, we just blast higher or again lower.
I mean, my opinion is it's a good short, but you need to be a bit careful with it because
yeah.
I think a lot of people want it to bump for
Mhm.
their own gain.
You watching flows or something on Velo on altcoins?
No,
Mhm.
I'm pretty picky with altcoins. I've been just focused on high. I don't see any reason to focus on any other coin when you have one coin that's outperforming the market. In hindsight, it's pretty obvious that you want to bet on the coin that's outperforming, right? So I just been trying to trade hype as much as possible. I do hold spot, but I don't know why waste your time on other coins.
What average
Kind of
you
doesn't make
have on
sense.
hype?
Oof, I'm not sure. I think it's like around 12. Probably higher now. I think I bought. Yeah, I bought some
Very
at like
good.
20 on that dump. So it's probably around
Yeah.
14, 15.
Yeah, I think you posted something here like
I bought hype. I feel like I bought hype late. I started buying at like $8
$8.
or a bit lower than that. Yeah, when it launched.
You mean on the launch on this move? Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, I haven't held a coin this long in like a while. But I don't know, man. Hype is. I don't think there's enough money pricing in the fact that hype can underperform. I feel like this whole move up was already priced in, and then when they announced their what was it with some collaboration with like that Trade XYZ is gonna be using proper S&P data for their markets, right? Something like that. Hype didn't really, buy the rumor, sell the news sort of vibe. So I'm not sure if hype can hold out for too long, but it's definitely something that you want to accumulate long term.
Well, long term, where would you accumulate? You'd look for sub 20, right?
What?
For long term, you'd look for sub 20 on Hyperliquid.
I mean, I don't know, man. I haven't been too specific on hype as regarding buys. I've just been trying to average down.
Yeah.
But like big spot buys, yeah, I guess you wanna go as low as possible.
I mean, if you have extra cash, like you can safely, just blind and DCA every big dump or climax on it. So yeah, pretty safe.
You see, with like hype, there's like actual adoption, and especially when we have geopolitical like stresses like this, where people want to bet on like oil and gold and whatever. Hype gains their what is it called? HIP 3 markets. They gain like a lot of volume, and part of that is directly goes back to revenue for hype, so they buy back more. So I guess the more people trade on such events, the more the coin can hold up. But then, like, I'm not sure what they're gonna do because Nasdaq wanted to expand to blockchain as well. So I'm not sure what sort of backend they're gonna go for. I was looking at there's a firm called Securitize. They sort of have the most ties. So I don't know. I think Hype may see some competition this year regarding on-chain trading, but for now it's pretty good.
You think Hype could go to previous yearly value era low in case risk assets sell off way more? Like if Bitcoin goes into the 50s.
I don't know.
For now, we are just at around 50, like dump from the prior high. So why would be different from the last cycle with a reduction of 27%? Why would be different
For
on this
Bitcoin,
specific year? Yeah.
I mean, I guess it has no choice but to get dragged down by Bitcoin, right? I think they also have unlocks this month.
So you see this?
Yeah.
It's 52. And the prior cycles, like, just go on the index one. So basically the prior was, okay, 77. This one for now it's at 52. The prior one was 84. So yeah, and the other one something in the 80s again. So why will be different? Like how many call already this as the macro bottom? Like a reduction of almost 25 reduction on the bear market. And why not to still sell off for at least, maybe, I don't know, at least, but I think it's good, like around the 65, something in the 60s. Like to not say 70, 60s. Maybe a 10% reduction from prior cycle. Because even if you watch here, of course, the market is well more mature than in the previous cycles, but still is big to me. Like 27, 25 reduction is a lot to me. Because
I'm not sure how the holders were looking for Bitcoin back in the day, but you got Sailor now, so I guess he sort of holds some base there. But yeah, then you have the argument of if people want to try and like squeeze him. I'm not really sure.
I mean,
it's a big take.
You got a lot of volume distributed though, like since you've had that bottom. So I mean, you can probably strike like a volume profile from the FTX crash. A volume profile.
Okay, wait. I don't really use the volume profile from the TV, so
that's fine.
I guess it's this one. So FTX dump until now or until the high?
Until the high is fine, yeah.
Oh shit, it's black. Anyway,
so we can see it.
I hope everyone see it. So you mean on this high volume node here, this big chunk?
It's not just that though. It's the one that we're in right now. Like we're in that high volume node there. So it's like you can probably just draw like a volume profile of that big accumulation range as well, like the small. Yeah, I mean it's same thing, yeah. And you've got low that like 45k. So it's like I don't know. I think we'll probably for now on high time frame like mid 50s looks fine. I don't think we'll
mid
go
50s.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go to 30 unless like people start throwing nukes at each other. Anything bad.
You mean like because also we have this low volume node, and maybe if you spike here, basically it's a discount of this high volume node here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
might be bulked up pretty fast. Yeah, makes sense.
I think something else that might be bullish this year is the midterm election. So, like, let's say the next few months, the economy, stocks go down, right? Whoever's coming in charge after midterm is going to be pumping markets again. Kind of like Trump's. It's kind of like with Trump's initial like win during the last election.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know, it's like Q2 or like
like
Q.
he still has like 2 years. Like he still has 2 years left.
No, yeah, but like the issue is that like I think like with the midterms he's gonna be losing them anyway, and he's probably gonna be desperate to like print cash anyway towards the end of this year. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like no point in speculating this big, especially when variance gets so large when you like use different indicators and all that. So I don't think it's too serious.
Makes sense. It just I'm a bit surprised like how people can call already macro bottom after with a 25 reduction. It's a lot, like, to believe, because I know some reputable traders that, of course, it's still forecasting and speculation, but they did have like a good point of why it wouldn't go lower a bit or away a bit lower. It's also just half of the cycle. Of course, there is also a possibility if we sell off really fast into the cycle, and yeah, we put the low early, then bounce, and yeah, maybe just a retest of the macro low.
Wait, Waffles.
I don't know. I think people are sort of like betting that Bitcoin's going to become a bit more like stabilized by institutions and all that. So that may be a factor. But also, in my opinion, for like bottoms like this, I think time capitulation is worse than the actual price. So even if we do bottom here, if it takes another 4 months of drop and we end up breaking below 60, that's going to be worse than like going lower. So I think people get offset on time a lot more than they do on price, because I'm willing to bet that like over 70% of people in crypto don't actually hold Bitcoin. So unless it gets really, really cheap, I don't see that like too much incentive for people to buy here.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Time-wise, yeah, it's also a very big point to take in consideration.
Because like look at the range next to that.
Yeah, this one on the left.
Yeah, like there's at least, well, that's all weeks, right? So there was so many moments where you could have said it's over, and then we're so back, right? And we're so early in the movement now.
It was like 200 days. So
yeah,
half a year.
See, I think people forget to buy. That's the thing. Price needs to move as slow as possible and as boring as possible, so people don't buy.
Yeah, I agree. It's also the possibility, let's say that, of course, this bear market, we have that big reduction from the coupling from the prior cycles, on where we don't dump that big anymore. So of course, if you're gonna hold here, like troop something around this range and to form another big range here, then yeah, maybe it's a big point that it's strength, and maybe not we won't really sell off lower, because that might be imply we extend into maybe, I don't know, another 12 months into the bear market, and that never happened.
I don't know. It's not good. It's not good for the market. If Bitcoin was that weak, But like
Like
any
for
current
now,
moves
it
up,
always was. So yeah, continue. Sorry
go on, go
for
on.
interrupting. No, I wanted just to say that overall, we have like around 12, 30 months of downside on each bear.
Yeah, we're definitely in a bear market. You can't argue that. So as I was saying, like probability wise, when you get such big drops on Bitcoin, like the highest odds that you have for like a move is a move up, and price can still remain bearish. So like let's say Bitcoin goes to like 90K and then we drop back down to 60. That's gonna be like worse than if we drop from here to like 60. You get me? And it
Yeah,
will still remain bearish. People don't really price in like the probability of a dead cat bounce, I guess. Like as time passes, you forget this sort of thesis, and then your bias is gonna get structured on like the 1 week that Bitcoin goes from, let's say for speculation, from here to 90. So this one pump is gonna change your bias that you had for the past like 3 weeks. So the more time it takes for these things to happen, I think the worse. I don't know why people are
usually quick
surprised
pump.
that we may pump. Like it's not like we're gonna be back, but price moves up and down. Like what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, from there is like 40% dump. Like if it follows like you said here, like if we pump into the close to 90s and then maybe another for the 50s. So yeah, we are so back and then we are so done, you know?
Yeah, as a thing.
Yeah.
I think like 1 or 2 weeks of strength, and then maybe 1 week of strength, and then 1 week of range. That's gonna be enough to wipe people's memories. And then if we drop, not even that much, if we drop to like the current low and just clean that up, that bias is gonna be we're sober again, but we're like within the same. I don't know if you guys have read there's a good post from Kobe from back in the day regarding like how you can sort of estimate the probability of like the moves to come or like sort of scenarios.
I think I have bull market, but don't remember which one was.
I mean, he pretty much just argues the fact that you can, like, when you get a big drop like this or big pump, you sort of just plan out like 4 or 5 sort of possible things that can happen. So you just like draw them out, and then you sort of try and break down the possibility of each one happening. So if you see a move down like 50%, would it be more likely that you drop another 10% or you climb another 10%, and you just sort of try and weigh them out? But usually on moves down like this, we have the most probability of sort of getting relief. That doesn't change the fact that you're
82
still,
here is
yeah.
yeah. Will be so big damage like here to like to play this range on the 24. It's very wide, yeah.
It's hard to say that, like, we're gonna go up.
I mean,
Like,
it's not like, I mean, it's normal what is happening right now because
yeah,
it's also the mean, and after a climax that big,
but it's just like high time frame. You can't really say like we bottomed out high time frame without taking out that low to begin with. Like right now we can keep going up, like traverse the value, but it's like sometime this year we are gonna take out that low, and that's where you should be
it's,
buying spot long term.
I mean, the constructive bull case for me in this case is like this banana shape coiling up. One will say this, and the bear one, I mean, you can also build some sort of bear flag and yeah, just say something like the prior bear flag and yeah, maybe sell off again. So yeah, it goes both ways. And as Waffles also says, yeah, just trade level to level in this condition.
Yeah, Bitcoin's really like, I think it's one of the most sentiment driven assets that I've seen. Like sentiment is almost always on point. So it's a very emotional asset. That's why I try and avoid getting too biased, and I always note down my sort of thesis from time to time, because I don't know, man. You open up Twitter, and in 30 minutes, your whole week of speculating could be just shifted upside down because you saw some guys' posts about their ideas and all that. So just try and stay unbiased.
And then you are also
that's
influenced because that guy posting, it's also like almost 1 million followers, and yeah, is the herd following it.
Yeah, like the current drop that we had from the quarterly VWAP projection from 75K. I remember I opened up Twitter at like 12 a.m. And everyone decided that it's time for Bitcoin to go to 85K. And the sort of plan that I had for a short, it was like really, it was a big bet, like a big gamble. And the sort of thing that pushed me to go short was sentiment. I was like, no way, like they let this happen after all this range, right?
Yeah.
So sentiment is always right. It's good to keep a tab on.
I can remember was really word news on this high. I can remember like from previous days. Or was it before? I think it was a bit earlier on this move, right? The news.
Regarding what?
Midest.
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have them timestamped in my head.
Yeah. But it started around here in the second week, I guess, after this. I mean, the news more aggressively, I think, in this week started.
To be honest, Bitcoin hasn't been doing too bad for.
If you were to bet based on the last cycle, where do you think we are based on this and on this?
I have zero idea. I do like to do my own sort of like. I have my own ideas about timing and all that, but they sort of like come at random. Like when I get the idea, it's that. So I can't really map it out for you right now.
Yeah. I mean, for now it's really normal, like to bounce here because yeah, it's a very high volume candle here on the weekly, so almost always we just bounce it off it. So yeah, it's really normal what we are doing right now.
It's gonna get interesting, especially. I mean, I don't know if people follow me on Telegram here, but I always say that my ideal scenario is always gonna be for price to go up. Like I have zero like gain from price going down. So in any scenario I drop, I always want us to go up because it always gets substantially easier. But yeah, just try and keep an eye on your guys' bias, especially if we do go to 86K. Something I sort of tend to note down is in certain areas of price, you want to hold trades longer or shorter. So you kind of want to stabilize that, because if you go short at like 85K and you TP at like 80 and then price goes to 60, you sort of lost. You want to trade, but you sort of lost the whole move.
Mm-hmm. It's funny if you watch this like with the forecast. For now we are at 168. So basically, based on the prior cycle, we will be in here. Like, yeah, yeah, just pretty similar dump, to be honest. I don't know. By the magnitude, I mean 50s.
You have any read on like volatility metrics?
I haven't watched pretty much because I was just let me pull it firstly. Dart 3.
Because
I mean
just
the top was very clean. That decrease on vol
on the 75K one.
Yeah, here.
Yeah. VCS on the daily has been sort of resetting.
Yeah, I have the 21 on Garmin class. So yeah, basically my main thing was here was some sort of broadening pattern top information with this shit drop here after this entirely very high increase of volatility was very clear that we might just find maybe a local top. So yeah, it play really good, and yeah, pretty much the same thing as the bottom here, you know. I mean, we either form a bottom or a top, either on very high vol or on very low vol. But usually when we have like very high vol, it implies a lot of chop. If you really watch Waffles, like here, high vol chop, like, and now again we have pretty much high vol. So yeah, I tilt. I mean, it's still normal, like what we see here, and maybe chop over a little more.
It's gonna get
But
interesting.
it's nice also on these bands, you know. You see how clean it is.
Yep.
We always gave like, I mean, even if you don't have like a Dalai Lama pattern or V shape here, it still can go like in the sideways and go from far away from the band and maybe then like some sort of the same consolidation we have in the pre or bear market. So yeah, I mean, if it just doesn't pump, but you know that like if we spend a lot of time in this climax here, it won't reverse. Like you won't have that big V shape. It's the same as on lower time frame. So
I haven't used those
time.
bands, to be honest. I'm not
Mhm.
good. I'm not good with them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's nice to have them. Like I like them having just here for seeing where there is like trading very far away from the mean. So yeah. On the daily, yeah, still holding this trend band here. So I think it will flatten here and maybe just chop into the band. To be honest, something like this, like this, like this, or like this, or like this is next for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, as long
But
as we
yeah,
go up, I'm
it
happy.
also lines. Yeah, it also lines up with your bias. I mean, here on the previous Mount Valley high, and then yeah, just rotate again, some sort of 3-tap on the high, and just trade into the band until the vol dies more. I mean, it's normal here to die, and then on the flashes after, yeah, we just see another direction when we compress.
I thought we can hold that range for that much time if you're looking at the daily.
This one?
Oh no, the way you had it drawn out, with volatility dropping.
Ah, okay. So what is your bias? I mean, not your bias, your look on the volatility.
I don't really think I have one right now, to be honest.
I mean, not on the mid time frames, but on the weekly, daily, I would say.
Daily, I've noticed VZS maybe gonna like this move up. So maybe we need to chase this move up, but intraday, I don't know how much strength Bitcoin has. I don't know if how much I need to decide if I'm gonna try and chase this move or not. That's why I had the short point of interest marked out. I think that's gonna be a deciding factor in whether we want to chase or we want to trade reversals.
Mm-hmm. The wall
I,
here
I,
also spiked it like really big. It's also because of this. Like
yeah, honestly, this is a
it's stand. It could squeeze
pretty
more.
big volume candle.
Yeah, you know this that it could squeeze more. Like the vol just stay high and it still go. Then yeah, just lose momentum and you short the shit out of it.
I mean, most trends start with short squeezes, right? And from what I recall over the weekend, a lot of shorts piled in, right? So I guess this was just them getting cleared out. Now, if we get volume to sustain, maybe we follow up with a move higher. But just a spike on a short squeeze, I don't think it's going to be enough to get us where we want to be.
Yeah. As you know, by the theory, it can squeeze a lot more like on high vol before it really reversing or forming the base. Like the logs to be still distributing on the distribution until it really starts to die off.
Yep.
But yeah,
we're gonna see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also
Can we
this
get
internal like for price action, people here we broke below, you know. Like
yeah, but then you could argue that lows are holding.
Yeah, true. Like this structure here, to be honest, is better looking, you know, than this one. Right?
Why do you think it's better looking?
I don't know, looks way cleaner to me. Like we didn't have like this some sort of weak chop inside, and we have clean lows, more clean
True.
lows. Like not the cleanest, but cleaner lows.
Yeah, not much dead stagnation like that. But when you have like moves like
haven't
that,
really watched on the daily profiles on TPO, like to see if you have like a lot of poor lows here, but
well, you gotta
doesn't
let me
seem like
know. Cause yeah, I don't really focus on TPOs. But yeah, you guys let me know if those are poor lows or not.
Yeah.
They're not poor lows.
I mean, it's shit, bro. This structure is shit. Yeah, it's very shit. Aside these two here, it's very bad. But another thing to note of these two, like to hold, is because we had this climax that is way bigger than this one, and this was really bulked up here after the selling climax. Like no effort to really push lower. So I think this is a big contributor here for holding beside this shit structure.
Yeah, definitely. We could get Ina to stream.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's not too active though, but I can get him to do it. I can get him to stream.
Right, that would be really cool.
I know, like his chart pattern thing is insane. Like the planet system thing we do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think you know those poor lows that you're asking about. They're not poor lows. They're just it's just consecutive equal lows, pretty much.
All right.
But like if we start dumping, like we should end up taking them both, because I mean the first kind of profile, even though it's like a pretty normal distribution, that trap volume is already tagged, so literally just gonna be like two sets of equal lows there. I think there were poor highs from yesterday. Well, not poor high, but like a pretty shit high from yesterday. And I think today we had poor highs that were taken. There's not much else. Yeah, not much else. Yeah, I think last week we did have full highs though at the 76k area.
Is this like the top?
Yeah, the top. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I've given enough opinions,
Yeah.
and I've heard enough opinions. Yeah. Again, I'm trying to be. I'm serious. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible.
Yeah.
Um. So I think I'm gonna have to go. But thank you guys for having me over, and I appreciate all the opinions I got from both of you.
It's all good. It's all good. Take care, bro. I'd love to do this some of us time again as well. But yeah, thanks for the alpha as always. Appreciate you, bro.
Anytime, anytime. See you guys. Good luck for the week. Bye bye.
Take care. Guys, we're pretty much done here. Not much else to say. I can take in some requests if you want me to look at any specific tickers, but it's pretty much done here.